Welcome to part 2 of this webcast series. We will now transition to explore the curriculum map document. The curriculum map was developed by teachers from around the state along with regional training and technical assistance centers. We recommend that you have a copy of the curriculum map printed or open on your desktop as we go through this section of the webinar. The first section of the curriculum map is the guide. The guide both summarizes and expands on some of the information that is presented in this webcast. The guide contains information on IEP development, assessment strategies, evidence-based practices and predictors, and measuring and reporting criteria. The curriculum map is divided into 6 broad categories called domains. The 6 domains that are represented include English, mathematics, science, social science, independent living, and employment. Competencies define more specific focus area within each domain. For example, competencies within the math domain include time, task and resource management, data sense, mathematical reasoning, geometric and spatial reasoning, measurement, money management, and ratios and proportions. Competencies are a combination of skills, abilities, and knowledge needed to perform specific tasks. In the process of developing the curriculum map, competencies were developed and identified based on their relevance and application within the workforce and community. The competencies in the curriculum map have been aligned with the 21 workplace readiness skills for the Commonwealth. The 21 workplace readiness skills are skills that have been identified by employers from across the state as being the most important skills needed to get and maintain employment. You can access the 21 workplace readiness skills by clicking the link in this presentation or within the guide section of the curriculum map. Within each competency, there are skills. The skills outlined provide the most specific language within the curriculum map. These define specific individual skills that can be used to develop IEP goals and objectives. The curriculum map contains 835 skills. It is not expected that each student master each of the skills outlined. Instead, it is up to the IEP team to determine which skill deficits present the biggest barriers to independent living and employment and address those. Additionally, as students get closer to graduation, the IEP team will need to determine strengths and interests to provide instruction that will further facilitate the student in gaining employment in an area of their choosing. This may include participation in a variety of high school courses. This slide shows a graphic that provides a visual example of how the curriculum map is organized. At the top of the screen is a box representing the domain. In this example, the domain is English. Directly below that box are 2 boxes representing competencies within the English domain. These boxes say community literacy and documents and forms. At the bottom of the screen are 4 boxes representing skills. The skills under community literacy are recognize signs in the community, a level 1 skill, and use community text to solve problems, a level 4 skill. The 2 boxes under documents and forms say communicate emergency information, a level 1 skill, and produce a complete resume, which is a level 4 skill. Levels that are outlined within the curriculum map are intended to describe the depth of understanding and application of skills within each competency. Level 1 skills include skills that require the student to recognize and recall information. Level 2 skills require the student to identify and comprehend information. Level 3 skills indicate that the student is able to interpret information and understand. And Level 4 skills require that the student is able to apply their knowledge in new and novel situations. Breaking skills into levels is intended to be an organizational method for the curriculum map and not intended to describe a student. A student may work on a variety of skills within the curriculum map and may receive instruction on skills at any level. By organizing skills into these levels, IEP teams may have an easier time finding skills that are appropriate for the student's present level and help develop appropriate annual goals. Levels are used to provide some information about the skills that are outlined. Levels should never be used to describe a student. A student may be working on developing skills at any level depending on the competencies and their personal strengths and interests. In other words, a student that is working on a level 2 skill within a math competency may simultaneously work on level 3 or 4 skills within another competency or even within the same math competency. Now we will look at the format of the curriculum map. On each page of the map, you'll see a table that resembles the table on this slide. The table consists of 2 rows and 5 columns. In the top row, you see labels for each column. The first column is labeled competency and definition. Below this, in the second row, you see competency in bold. On this page, the competency is community literacy. Directly below the competency, you see an abbreviation that teams can use for quick reference. This abbreviation for community literacy is ENG-CL. Below the abbreviation is the definition of the competency. This provides a brief statement of what the student will do upon mastery of skills within that competency. If you look back at the top of the table, the remainder of the columns are labeled by the level of the skills that are listed below that column. The levels go from 1 to 4, from left to right. As the reader works from left to right on the page, the skills become more complex. The English domain is divided into 6 competencies and consists of 87 individual skills. The competency of self-selected reading and reading as leisure addresses skills such as selecting reading materials, acquiring reading materials using libraries and online resources. Community literacy indicates that a student uses literacy skills and an understanding of various community texts to solve problems and meet the needs of adult life. This may include identifying and responding appropriately to signs within the community or using a bus schedule to plan and take a trip to a community location. Comprehension is the understanding of various texts. The application of these skills may include retelling nonfiction stories, such as recounting a personal experience, or utilizing instructional documents to complete a task or series of steps. Written correspondence addresses various forms of providing information by writing and mailing letters, bills, or utilizing email or text messages. Composition includes skills such as sequencing real-life events, which is a critical skill to build independence, organizing written information, and adapting one's writing style to fit certain situations. The Documents and Forms competency addresses the student's ability to communicate emergency information, such as name, address, and phone number, as well as accurately complete forms and protect personal information. The Mathematics domain is divided into 7 competencies and 194 skills. The Time, Task, and Resource Management competency addresses skills such as responding to timer-based schedules, telling time, and using a calendar for planning long-term projects and activities. Data sense indicates that the student demonstrates the ability to collect and use data to make informed decisions. This includes gathering data, organizing various forms of data, and interpreting and summarizing data in graphs or tables. Mathematical reasoning covers a variety of topics and skills, including counting, recognizing numbers, comprehending directional words, describing various forms of measurement, and comparing fractions, decimals, and percentages. Geometric and spatial reasoning focuses on skills that address spatial planning and problem solving. The measurement competency requires students to use different systems of measurement to solve real-world problems. This may include recognizing tools required for measurement, measuring items in a variety of forms, and recognizing equivalent measures. The money management competency addresses skills such as identifying money, paying for purchases with cash, debit, and credit cards, analyzing credit card terms and conditions, utilizing bank accounts, comparison shopping, and prioritizing spending. Ratios and proportions focus on comparisons, percentages, and solving problems, including calculating tips, tax, interest, and discounts to estimate total costs. The Science domain is divided into 7 competencies and 115 skills. The Classification competency addresses skills that teach a student to organize information and assist with using categorization to sort and explain various pieces of information. The Ecology competency addresses efficient use of resources, including understanding their own impact on their immediate environment, as well as how to conserve resources within their own routines. The Chemical Reactions competency addresses some safety issues related to common household chemicals, as well as utilizing these skills within cooking tasks and household maintenance. The Weather competency addresses identifying current and future weather conditions and preparing for those conditions. This includes utilizing resources to find the information, dressing appropriately, and taking correct actions in an emergency. The Measurement competency within the Science domain addresses some of the same skills as addressed within the Math domain in a more scientific context. Examples include measuring and recording information, utilizing accurate abbreviations, and interpreting data. Safety skills look at referencing labels, following safety guidelines in different environments, verifying the safety of certain environments with teachers or employers, and demonstrating ways to avoid injuries. Science's inquiry skills allow the student to develop skills related to investigation, properly using equipment, and using knowledge and skills to make decisions. The Social Science domain is divided into 5 competencies and 97 skills. The competency structure of government and organizations addresses skills related to recognizing authority figures, rules, consequences for disobeying rules in different contexts. This competency also addresses the process for creating laws, as well as how the Americans with Disabilities Act pertains to their life after graduation. The financial aspect of government addresses why people pay taxes, government careers, how the government provides services to assist people, and the ability to apply their knowledge when choosing financial institution and understanding the process involved with applying for those services. The laws and rules of good citizenship following a universal set of rules that apply in most situations, understanding rules that are specific to locations or settings, and engaging in civic responsibilities such as volunteering and voting. Map skills address the student's ability to utilize maps to identify locations and navigate the community effectively. This may include using paper or electronic maps to navigate to locations within the community. The economics competency addresses skills related to making choices, saving money, recognizing that people work to earn money to make purchases, and utilizing these ideas to set financial goals and manage spending, as well as effectively managing bill payments. Interpersonal skills incorporate critical skills that are required for maintaining relationships personally and professionally. This includes initiating conversations, contributing as part of a team, utilizing conflict resolution strategies, and accepting corrective feedback from supervisors by changing their behavior. The independent living domain is the most robust of the 6 domains. It contains 10 domains and 222 skills. Personal management addresses one's personal appearance and common grooming routines. This includes asking for assistance when needed, communicating preferences within self-care routines, using time effectively, utilizing strategies to deal with anxiety, regularly checking appearance, and self-advocating in adverse situations. Safety and health addresses recognizing safety concerns, identifying personal boundaries, seeking help, escaping exploitive situations, reporting inappropriate behavior, self-administering medication, and communication of medical information, including allergies. Social communication addresses skills that the student will need for positive interpersonal interactions and relationships, which may include engaging in basic functions of communications to make choices, make requests, state likes and dislikes, and gain the attention of others. This competency also includes demonstrating positive social interactions with familiar and unfamiliar people and applying effective communication strategies with a variety of people in multiple settings and situations. Mobility broadly addresses the student's ability to navigate a variety of environments, including securing personal transportation, navigating familiar environments independently, estimating travel time to arrive to locations on time, and possession of a driver's license. Recreation and leisure aims to teach students who have difficulty with downtime how to manage their free time effectively. This includes following a recreational schedule, participation in recreational activities with others, and seeking and maintaining membership with groups that develop their personal interests and pursuits. Food preparation includes maintaining a clean eating and preparation area, choosing nutritious foods, preparing meals, and planning and preparing a variety of meals for themselves and others. Home living addresses maintaining an organized and clean living space, completing laundry routines, and making minor household repairs and adjustments, recognizing when a professional is needed. Using services addresses the student utilizing community services such as the library, restaurants, laundromat, home repair services, including contacting a property owner, and utilizing customer services when needed. Wellness addresses the skills required for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. This includes healthy habits that prevent the spread of disease, properly using potentially dangerous products, cleaning surfaces, and understanding how to contact others in an emergency. The nutrition competency addresses making healthy food choices, demonstrating knowledge of food labels, planning and preparing balanced meals, and making selections based on dietary needs and restrictions. The employment domain consists of 7 competencies and 120 skills. The skills outlined do not address specific job skills, but address broader skills that can help the student become ready for job experience and on-the-job training. Career awareness focuses on the student being aware of the importance of work and aligning their work with their interests and skills. This may include exploring careers, understanding and expressing their personal strengths and preferences, and identifying jobs that align. The job-seeking skills competency addresses identifying resources for finding employment, identifying agencies that can help an individual find employment, understanding how to apply for a job, communicating necessary accommodations, and completing applications. The social communication competency addresses communication skills that are unique or specific to work environments. They may include communicating wants and needs, demonstrating respect for other coworkers, responding to requests appropriately, and the ability to engage in appropriate workplace communication in a variety of settings. Employability addresses the skills such as attending to activities for a specified duration, accepting feedback from a supervisor, starting and returning from breaks on time, and consistent performance at a defined level, and critiquing one's own performance. Self-advocacy includes the student understanding their personal rights within the workplace, recognizing and reporting unfair work practices, how to meet personal needs within the context of the workplace, and initiating requests for assistance or an accommodation, and negotiating pay and benefits. Problem solving focuses on the students being able to utilize the process for solving problems in the workplace. This includes recognizing that a problem exists, identifying solutions, evaluating solutions, and taking action to solve the problem. This concludes Part 2 of the Applied Studies Overview webinar. Please continue to Part 3 for more information on instructional techniques.